racing, then that could be a very long night indeed for that team.
This is just incredible. The atmosphere down here now, these cars going out for their final 20-minute session. They are ready to go. This is Shane Van Gisbergen, by the way. Would you believe he went into the crew and he said to the engineers, what do you think I should do? Am I going too hard at this too early? They said, Shane, you have license to do what you want to do. Just go for it. So watch this guy. If you think what you've seen so far has been exciting, I've got a feeling there's more to come because he is just standing by to let go at the moment. But this session about to get underway, this is going to be something really fantastic. The teams know they've got a chance here to do something that could rewrite the history books, guys.
Barrett, you're not wrong there. Giving Shane Van Gisbergen license to do anything is a very dangerous thing indeed. What it will be for us, and I'm sorry, but this has got to go in, it's a license to thrill here at Bathurst this afternoon. And when Van Gisbergen rolls out, he is going to be fully on it. He goes now, and here is what's in front of him.
20 minutes, 6.213 kilometres, 23 corners here at Mount Panorama. It's 175 metres top to bottom. The steepest gradient, 1 in 6. If you're me and quite unfit walking that means it's really, really, really difficult. It's a great circuit, though. We all know it. We love it. There's so much difference from corner to corner and so much variety across the space of a lap. 3 sectors in particular we'll be following. The first intermediate just on the exit of Reed Park at the top of the hill. The second on the exit of the Elbow. The final sector is the run all the way down Conrod Straight to the start-finish line. There's only 4 corners in that sector and a lot of straight, and that's where the Audis have been struggling today. Lawrence Vantor, the defending Alan Simonson Pole Award winner in this race, has been consistently the fastest car across the top of Mount Panorama, but never has set the fastest final sector, and as a result, hasn't been able to qualify towards the front of the field yet.
Already nearly down to 17.5 minutes only to go as Rick Kelly hits Conrod Straight for the first time in this final qualifying session in the defending champion Nismo GT weaving left and right, trying to get the tyres clean and warm and up to pressure through into the Caltex chase. This is not the fast lap, but he's got to have his head right. He knows this place. Smart move by the Nissan boys to plug Kelly into this run around Mount Panorama.
It's going to be really interesting, and Rick has been so champing at the bit to get behind the wheel of car number 1. It's Katsumatsu Chio who did much of the work throughout the early practice sessions in terms of ultimate lap speed.
Wow.
But not a lot of people on this grid know Mount Panorama better than Rick Kelly.
Did you see the way the GTR punched out of the final corner through turn 1, Hell Corner, now heading up Mountain Straight? Just a small speck on the horizon that Rick Kelly will have to deal with, snatching the gears. Time is ticking away. The time left in this session is on the bottom left. The counting clock on the right is Rick Kelly's elapsed time as he goes through Griffin's Bend and up towards the Audi cutting.
We talk, don't we, guys, about these being power circuits or handling circuits. The trouble for these guys is this one's both, and it's both as you come across the mountain now. This is where some of the cars really come into their own. It's less, though, where the Nissan can extend its punch. What we're going to see the Nissan actually get back into this is in the 3rd sector.
Gives the wall a wide berth as he comes through. The car floating. Gets some help from the downforce. It's all quick. It's high-speed stuff through here. But you've got to be absolutely millimetre perfect as he heads across Skyline.
Well, plenty of McLarens riding headlines, guys, here today, but one McLaren that's not taking part in this session is the Sticks Licorice car of the Quins and also Craig Baird. They're happy with the time that they've already got. They don't want to go out and risk it, knowing that tomorrow is a big day. Talking to Craig Baird, he says, I don't want to be the man who's to come back and deliver Tony Quinn some bad news, so we're just going to keep it on ice for tomorrow.
Bad news down here for the 36. Thomas Yeager is ready to go out, but his car is not. They looked to fire it up and it wouldn't go, so they took the back cover off, fiddled with some stuff in there, realized it still wasn't going to go. Brought out the high jacks. Now, every car in Class A is fitted with hydraulic jacks, which means you push an air pump into the back, and these silver things drop down to lift the car up instead of a mechanic going under and with a jack that you have to do by yourself. Those red things that they've got on the bottom, those are high stands, so mechanics can get underneath the car and get better access. They've taken off the rear wheels, they're working on the suspension. They did do a brake change on the 63 in between the two sessions, didn't do it on the 36 as far as I could see, but whatever happened in between the two sessions did not go according to plan for Thomas Yeager in the 36 Erebus Motorsports.
And that should be a car, gentlemen, that is challenging at the sharp end of the field. Graham.
It should be. Usually those auto jacks are absolutely ironclad reliable, but we did see a bit of drama yesterday, didn't we, with one of the Audis, so the rear jacks failing, needing about 20 of the guys from the garage to lift the rear of the car up.
Shane van Gisbergen. Is he the ultimate plug-and-play performance upgrade?
I think so. It's remarkable, isn't it? This is Will Davison. Will Davison is out there actually and just doing a solid job in the sister car to the one we're looking at with Shane van Gisbergen. 59 and 60, the two McLarens. So bearing in mind the times that they've already set stand. So we heard about the Darrell Lee sticks entry that Clark Quinn did such a brilliant job with, and Craig Baird didn't want to crash. They're still currently third with a 202.31. The job now is to go faster, but they'll be running low fuel loads. They'll put their extra brand new set of tyres on and go after it. But I don't think they're going to set lap times until the very end of this session, because we've seen it's taking a couple of laps for tyres to come up and produce their ultimate lap speed.
Exactly what I was going to say, by the way. You know those big events where people go before the end to miss the traffic? Don't do it here, because it's 13 minutes to go in this. It is going to come in the last few moments, I'm sure of that.
Bentley's stately progress continues.
The fastest car that looks slow in the world, aren't they? They look like they're cruising around, and Maxime Soulet is going to do a 2.7, which is a very good lap.
Improves to 7th position overall in the standings, the first improver of this session.
So starting to fire already, and this is good news for Erebus Motorsport, because the Penrite Oils number 36 car is rolling. And with Thomas Yeager behind the wheel, they have to be a chance, as good a chance as anybody, to be somewhere in the game for pole.
He's not rushing out, trying to save the best of his tyres for when he comes round in a couple of minutes' time. Rene Rast scraping the ground. The 75 car, the Yamiq Penn Audi with the blue streaks on the side of it. Its team car has the red. That's the 74 car.
Van Gisbergen's gone faster again in the first split. Rast faster than anybody in the middle split. So this is a lap that could put him somewhere near Shane's best time of 201.59.
And Rast was the quickest man in that centre section, along with Van Tour in the longer session. The Audi's loving that middle section over the top of the mountain. Here comes Rene Rast through the Caltex chase, but Shane van Gisbergen is not that far behind them as his time clock continues to tick as well. He's got about half a minute before he's going to get to the finish line, right in front of our commentary position. Here comes Rene Rast. It's a 2:01.8 for Rast, and that is an improvement for him, and he's less than 3/10 behind pole position. But is pole position going to be snagged? Is it going to be pushed further out of the grip of mere mortals? As Van Gisbergen does a 2:01.2 and proves once again, is if we needed it, reminding that he is very special indeed.
That's a mega lap. 2:01.28 for Shane van Gisbergen, finds another 0.3 of a second over his previous best, and just as Rene Rast throws out a challenge and gets into the ones, Shane van Gisbergen replies and delivers an even better lap time. What's more is that there's more to come. I'm convinced that these cars will go faster as the session goes on.
People sitting by the fences here, guys, will tell their grandchildren they saw this. Amazing stuff from Shane van Gisbergen, from Techno Autosports, and from this McLaren 650S GT3. The first time, of course, we've seen the new McLaren here on the mountain, and boy, does it look at home.
Will Davison has taken out the team car. He's on his outlap at the moment. Rick Kelly still behind the wheel and goes through in a 2:03.0. Quick look at the number 2 car with
typical Mount Panorama. typical Mount Panorama, JH, that seems to be quite bright at the top of the mountain and down the bottom still quite grey. And that's a big moment at 210k when your car's fully aero-loaded and you're gripped up at the top of McPhillamy Park, and Lawrence Vantor's having an enormous moment in slow motion.
Did you see the black marks that was left behind the car as it unloaded? And that's what started that moment that ended with him with all four wheels on the grass.
Third quickest now, and also into the 201s, the number 11 McLaren, the objective racing car. Warren Love, 201.884, just, what's that, 44 thousandths a second back from Rennie Rast. Rast looked like he was on a much... Oh, whoa! Big moment. That's why Rennie Rast isn't going to improve on this lap.
Chris Mace wide in car 74 on the Jamek Pem Audi, bounces it out over the curb on the exit of turn 1 with a big lose. Krista Johns, young Audi Sport customer driver, driving with Mark Sini and Mark Eddy in one of the Melbourne Performance Centre run Audis this weekend.
Van Gisbergen's gone through to start another lap, chaps, and he had a bit of a gap in front of him. Also going through the number 9 Audi, that's the white and very fluorescent orange of Krista Johns that you've just been talking about.
So that lap from Luff is the first major change of outright positions that we've seen in this second 20-minute session, because it's bumped the Darrell Lee car out of the top 3. It's now 4th, still on the second row of the grid, but Luff puts the objective racing car to 3rd place. And crucially for fans of the Michelin brand, it's the first Michelin car to challenge the Pirellis that have been otherwise dominant in this qualifying session. Still half a second slower than Van Gisbergen, but only half a tenth slower than Rast's time for a spot on the front row. So Luffy will wind himself up and have another go at that and see if he can get a little bit closer to Shane Van Gisbergen.
Van Gisbergen is on it again, guys. And what is it about the Kiwis around here? Are we going to see another Greg Murphy-like lap of the gods?
Roland Dane watching on from pit lane, the gentleman that's just employed Shane Van Gisbergen for a full-time drive in the V8 Supercar Championship this year.
Looks like a smart hire now, doesn't it?
It's a pretty safe bet. Yeah, so he'll be a very interested spectator watching on down there with actually Craig Lowndes' manager David Siegel watching on alongside Roland. He will be a very interested spectator.
Roland Dane knows talent when he sees it. It looks like Gizzy's out of it coming down through Forest Elbow. Indeed he is. Now whether that's the end with 8 minutes to go, or whether it's a quick bounce back to the pits for a pressure change and send the Kiwi back out again, not sure at the moment. Roland Dane, as I say, knows talent when he sees it. British touring cars for a long time with Triple Eight and then down here as well, Graham.
Improvement from the number 10 Bentley up to 6th quickest overall ahead of the sister car. It's Stephen Kane, who was very quick yesterday, of course, but he's gone through in a 2:02.353 to get the Bentley into the mix.
Thomas Jaeger on for improvement here. Personal best first sector for the Erebus Motorsport number 36. Only 14th at the moment, this car, so they've got a lot of improvement to find. Middle split's been okay, not brilliant, but okay.
He's got traffic, Quilsey. That's been his issue. And he's had to deal with it. Headlamps flashing. I just want a little bit of room. Somebody give me a bit of room. Down the Caltex chase.
Van Gisbergen in the lane with 6.5 minutes to go. I wonder if they've decided enough is enough. Tony Verlanderen in the Ferrari, the 88 Maranello Motorsport car that won this race 2 years ago, 16th only at a 2:03.8. They've done a 3.8 and they can't even crack the top 10.
Yeah, but a 3.8, 2.5 seconds off the pace of the pole sitter.
That's on the front row 2 years ago. That's how quick this field has moved on. It's crazy, isn't it?
Stephen Kane is going quicker again this time around.
And I would say Van Gisbergen has given his all. Got to talk to your driver. This is part of how you manage people, isn't it, guys? And say, do you want another one? Do you think you can improve? And the drivers have got to be honest enough to say, not without taking too much risk. Risk and reward. Push without risk is one of the things we hear about a lot in the World Endurance Championship.
Stephen Kane up to 5th position overall in the Bentley. The number 10 car takes another 10th or so out of that total to a 2.324 this time. Quicker in 2 of the 3 sectors.
And Laurent Vanto's had a better run over the top of Mount Panorama this time, as he's got clear track ahead. The super bright LED headlamps on the Audi R8 lifted directly from the road-going version of this car.
So Will Davison, John, has done a 2:02.5. He's 8th. That was the pole time last year.
Yeah.
So last year's pole time would barely get you in the top 10. That's how far the game has changed.
Rennie Rast from second place brings the 75 Jamek Pen Audi into the pit lane with 5 minutes to go. Laurent Vantour continues to push through the Caltex chase, and just now one more corner. The left-hander at Maguire's sets the car up on the right-hand side of the circuit, the front of the Audi, dives down under heavy braking, then he balances it on the throttle. The mid-engine car punching out of the corner pretty decently across the line. 2:05, 2:74. There's no improvement for Vantour.
They haven't even got near, well, they've got near within 3/10 of the time they did in the first session, so still improvement to come from Phoenix Racing. I sense there's not quite a lot of enjoyment down there in the Audi camp at car 2, right at the very end of pit lane at pit exit, the top garage, as a former winner of this motor race. I think there's still a little bit to find as Christopher Meese goes 6th. He's on a good lap at the moment, actually, in car number 74, the Jamek Pen Racing Audi, and won't be too far away from crossing the line for some improvement. PB's first and second split. Maxime Soulet in the Bentley going along very, very nicely.
McLaren's putting on a show, but Warren Luff, a man who's driven so many laps here, thousands probably, has just done his fastest ever. How'd that feel?
Yeah, look, felt really good. The objective McLaren was really well glued over the top, and look, lost a little bit in the last sector, but look, very happy. It's a great result for the team. Obviously tomorrow it's a very long day, so we'd love to be there come tomorrow afternoon.
How about that lap from the Giz?
That was pretty special. That was a great lap by him. So yeah, these cars are so much fun to drive around here, so looking forward to 12 hours of it tomorrow.
Your young co-driver, who's actually just watching down here at the moment, Matt Campbell, set a very handy 2-minute 2-lap this morning, and it was fastest in practice. Was it a bit of rocks, paper, scissors to see who gets to qualify?
Yeah, look, obviously it's important everyone gets plenty of miles in the car, but obviously between Slady, Maddie, myself, and obviously Tony Walls, the guy who owns it and has made it all possible. Tony's done an exceptional job. He's been doing 206s. So, look, I think we're very strong come tomorrow. Look, we've seen it in the past where your start is reasonably irrelevant. It's great to be up towards the front, but it's all about tomorrow afternoon.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Chad. Just see Stephen Johnson, bit of Bathurst family royalty, sitting down there in that camp watching on. So a fellow Queenslander with a Queensland-based team. And Scott Taylor there as well. Scotty will run Australian GT this year in an AMG GT, which is going to be very nice.
Under 3 minutes remaining, and you know, surgical precision the guys have been approaching this qualifying session with. But Shane Van Gisbergen has taken a monkey wrench to the lot of them, hasn't he? And I wonder if that, for the moment, has put off the real charge. Not quite.
Stephen Kane, guys, I reckon has still got something in that Bentley. Another personal best in Sector 1. It might not be at the level of SVG, but 5th position, I think, is not going to be where the number 10 car finished. Now remember, the Darrell Lee 37 car did not come back out again, and they have held on at the moment to a starting position on the outside of the second row if the flag was to come out now. I think that's a reasonable gamble for them. If they were to drop much further back, they might be ruining that decision, Krilsey.
We're watching Rick Kelly behind the wheel of the Nissan, defending champions, only 11th at the moment with a 2:03.06, I should say. So he's improved his time in the second session, but outside the top 10 at the moment. Now, you can win this race from just about anywhere, but they'd like to be a little bit further up the grid for all the pace they've shown throughout the race week. So we'll see what Rick can do. This has been a solid lap, but I don't think it's going to move him too far up the order. And car 1 will cross the line and do a 4.2. He's got some time to find, and he's got one more lap to do it.
Not exactly the same specification car, Graham, that we saw last year.
It's come forward quite a lot. New 4th position car, though, because Christopher Meese has just crossed the line, the 2:02.183. And that car has actually put the 37 car back onto the 3rd row now. But no, the Nissan is on board now with Christopher Meese. The Nissan improved, as these cars always are, year on year, in every single area.
And yet, not enough, clearly, to be sitting down there in 11th place. What did Stephen Kane do last time around? A 2:02.344, so knocking on the door of his best time, and he is out of it in terms of the speed in the first sector, so that will not be an improvement. However, Chris Meese has bumped down that Darrell Lee 37 off the second row, so they'll start on the inside of the third row at best. Is there anyone out there that can still do something? Well, don't count out Laurent Vantour. He did not get the flag last time around.
McLaren, Audi, McLaren, the top 5, then the 2 Bentleys, then another McLaren. So at the moment, all 4 McLarens in the race are in the top 8. This has been a really impressive performance by the 650S. Christopher Meese adjusting some controls on the steering wheel, adjustable traction control, ABS brakes, stability they can control. They can play with all those settings. He's not going to get to the line, though, to complete another lap. And the checkered flag will drop. I hesitate to compare it, but in 2003, a Kiwi driver came to Mount Panorama and did what many thought was unthinkable. His name was Greg Murphy, and what's been referred to since that time as the lap of the gods. He dropped into the 206s for the first time at Mount Panorama. Today, Shane van Gisbergen, a countryman, a Kiwi, one of the very best in the sport, has taken lap times at Mount Panorama to an entirely new level. And it looks almost certainly that the Alan Simonson Pole Award will go the way of Techno Autosports, thanks to a 201.5 from Shane van Gisbergen. Uncharted territory at Mount Panorama, and what a sight it was.
Otherworldly. And the gap between first and second, half a second, and then barely half a tenth between René Rast and Warren Luff in second and third. 3/10 back to Chris Meese in the Audi in 4th position. Just watch the number 2 car across the top of the mountain, Laurent Vantour.
He's driving the wheels off this car, but he's unhappy, and a big slide mid-corner will cost him exit speed, and he'll run very close to the wall. Final lap of the session, just pointed out there, Graham, Will Davison went P5.
He did.
In the second Techno Autosport McLaren.
Which pushes that 37 McLaren back 1 more position. They didn't go out, remember. It doesn't cost them a set of tyres because they would have been allowed an extra set for free if they'd gone out there, but it's pushed them now to the outside of the third row when we start early doors tomorrow morning.
René Rast, not quite a pole position, but man, you pushed the Audi hard in your second ever time here, feeling comfortable with the mountain, I'd assume.
Yeah, very happy actually with my time I did. I did it in the first flying lap, and after that the tire wasn't good enough, so we used the peak perfectly. And yeah, the team did a great job. Shane did an awesome lap. Really congrats to him. I wasn't able to beat him today, but yeah, I'm excited for the race tomorrow.
You said that Garth gets to do the start. Does that mean that you get to do the finish?
We don't know yet. We do just know that Garth will take the start, and then it's Steven and then me. But after that, we don't know yet.
What do you do the night before a big race?
Probably sleep a lot, eat a lot, drink a lot, just relax, you know. It's the most important thing, to be relaxed and to be fresh for the race.
Good news is it's only a 12-hour race, and guys, last weekend he won a 24-hour one.
Thanks, Shay. Really good effort by René Rast, and Jamak Pem Racing are looking very, very strong indeed. Missed out on pole by half a second, a few hundredths in front of the Objective Racing McLaren, but that is a solid performance from a squad that has been on the money since the first practice session this weekend, John. So really good. He should be very happy.
Confirmation then of the 59 car, the Techno Autosports McLaren, with a new qualifying record here on the mountain, 201.286. The best time for Shane van Gisbergen, ahead of that Pirelli-shod Audi. Best of the Michelin runners in third, the McLaren, the 11 car of Objective Racing. That's going to be an interesting run down to Hell Corner. Look how far last year's champions are. 13th position for the Nismo GTR, and there are some big names around the bottom half of the top 20. The B and the Invitation class set their times in the first part of the session. They haven't changed. I just can't wait to release these 20,000 horsepower tomorrow morning, gentlemen.
So Erebus Motorsport outside the top 10, Maranello Motorsport outside the top 10. It's a weird old world at Mount Panorama.
Well, after a sizzling lap from Shane Van Gisbergen, these guys in the McLaren will start from pole position tomorrow. Congratulations to Alvaro Pertenti, Jonathan Webb and Shane Van Gisbergen, and Bruce Morrison from Motivation is here to make the presentation of a very special trophy, the Alan Simonson Trophy. Bruce, we'll let you do that.
It's a fantastic trophy to win. It's a very important trophy, as you know, to be for pole position. And it's great to see a Kiwi win it.
Good on you, Shane. Well done. Please, we'll let you present that. Guys, congratulations. Shane, that was a sizzling lap, the likes of which we've never seen here before. How did it feel to you from the driver's seat?
Oh, it was amazing. I've never been close to that fast around here, and car's been quick all week, and all three of us are enjoying it. So to put a lap like that down in quali is awesome, but the main thing is the car feels great for the race. So we're looking forward to it.
It is a big race tomorrow, 12 hours. How important is pole position, though?
Oh, it's not really, but it's just a great thing to have, and to win the Alan Simonson Trophy is, you know, if he was still here, he'd be fighting for the pole. He was one of the quickest guys ever around here, so it's a big honour to win this. I'm stoked.
Well said, Shane. Jono, as team manager, these guys, this guy in particular, that was some lap.
We know he's wild and out of control, and nothing's changed. So, at the end there, we said, look, do a go out for quali 2 and put some tyres on, just let him loose, and he did the job.
Alvaro, I think you've got a great team. You're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A long race, and we're all looking forward to it. Congratulations to Shane. What a fantastic lap. John, we're at McLaren GT. We're all working hard, and it's looking good for tomorrow.
It looks fantastic for tomorrow, guys. Celebrate that. We'll see you bright and early. Well done.
Be still my beating heart. We expected something special, and once again, Mount Panorama delivered. In the early part of the session, as we checked through the Nissan highlights, it was Benny Simonson who brought out an early red flag. All that excitement had to be put on hold for 10 minutes or so, and then we released the beasts from the pit lane. Last year's champions, the Nismo GTR, showed well early on, but ultimately did not have the pace and will start in 13th position. Shane Van Gisbergen already getting down to his business in that first longer session. In the invitational class, the BM Pro I category, pole position would go to the Daytona Coupe, the 65 car, 700 horsepower and 300 kilometers an hour down Conrod Straight. We're on plain sailing though. Ouch. That was the sound of a lot of damage to the right rear on the 77 Class B Porsche, the richest Class B car, with the younger brother of Earl Bamber, William, all right. That's the good news. But the man who was closest to being perfect across the mountain today would take his time and let everyone go out and just sit and muse and focus. And while everyone else was doing what they thought was adequate, possibly better than that, Shane Van Gisbergen destroyed them completely and utterly. A 2:01.286, no one within half a second. Some tried harder than most, including Laurent Vanteux, and he was moments away from disaster in the Audi. Towards the end of the session, the track conditions getting even more tricky, as once again people trying hard. The 62 Lamborghini, and do you know, Laurent Vanteux just never wanted to give up, and even on the very last lap coming out of Forest Elbow, he was trying hard but just could not wring the time out of the Audi. There's some big names starting well outside the top 10, but as the old song goes, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And it'll be all live here on 7 and 7 Mate tomorrow. The weather should not play a part at all in determining who takes home the big trophy tomorrow.
Hey, John, what a great day. What an amazing session we